Hello everybody, my name is Mike Graf. I'm a member of the Institute of Information Security at the University of Stuttgart, and today I present you our recent work, AUC, Accountable Universal Composability, an accountability framework that works within existing UC frameworks. This is joint work together with Ralf Küsters and Daniel Rausch. If you have a look at the majority of security literature, you will find what we call traditional preventive security. In preventive security, you typically want to show that your security property that you aim for always holds true. And to show that your security property always holds true, you typically rely on certain assumptions in your proof. So if your assumptions hold true, you then can conclude that also your security property will hold true in the protocol. So for example, if you consider consistency in consensus algorithms, that simplified says that the participants in the protocol should share a common state, then you often rely on an eventual message delivery assumption in order to show that consistency holds true. But what happens if your assumption breaks, or if your assumption is simply not applicable to the scenario you're analyzing? Then your security proof does not provide you any security guarantee any longer. And in this scenario, accountability may help you to further secure your protocol. But how works accountability, or what is accountability-based security? In contrast to preventive security, accountability allows security properties to be violated. And so with accountability, your security property can break. It is not guaranteed that it holds true. But if it breaks, accountability ensures that you're able to undeniably identify the misbehaving party and hold the party accountable for their misbehavior. And this, in turn, then incentivizes the honest behavior of the parties, so they follow the protocol because they are otherwise penalized. So let's go back to the example with the consensus algorithm. If the participants in the algorithm or protocol just follow the protocol, it should provide consistency. If some parties deviate from the protocol, so they don't have or don't distribute the shared state, then accountability would ensure that you're able to identify this party and hold them accountable. On the one hand, as you see in literature, preventive security can be used as a standalone concept to secure protocols. That's what is typically done. But also accountability is already used as a standalone concept to secure protocols, for example, to secure e-voting protocols or auctions, or there are proofs to secure blockchains with accountability. But both approaches can also be combined. So, you can have accountability as a second security layer on top of traditional preventive security. So in this case, if you consider this combination of preventive and accountability-based security, then if your assumption for the preventive security holds true, you're sure that your security property holds true. If the assumption breaks, accountability still provides your security guarantees. If the security breaks down, you will get a verdict which undeniably identifies the misbehaving party, and you can hold this party accountable. If you have a look at the security literature, you will find that there already exists several general-purpose game-based accountability frameworks. For example, the KTV framework. But there are also others. If you now switch to modular security analysis and UC security analysis, they are mainly, with UC you mainly analyze preventive security properties. Though there are also some accountability-related properties already analyzed in UC, for example, identifiable abort in MPC is also used, also analyzed with UC models. However, so far there does not exist a general purpose accountability framework for modular or UC security analysis. And also, there does not exist a concept to analyze the combination of preventive security and accountability. In our paper, we propose AUC. It's a general accountability framework that brings accountability in a systematic way to UC. It works within existing UC models and thus also benefits from their properties. So AUC allows for modular security analysis and also provides strong security results and guarantees. We designed AUC such that it supports a wide range of protocols and security properties, and also to be able to handle the combination of preventive security and accountability. We exemplified the usage of AUC in 3 case studies in various domains, and we will have a look at them later on. Before we have a closer look at AUC, I will first recall the UC security experiment. So in UC security or simulation-based security, if you want to show that a real protocol benefits from the security properties formalized in an ideal functionality, you have to show that for every adversary interacting with the real protocol, there exists a simulator or ideal adversary interacting with the ideal functionality, such that basically no environment, so environment is the context in which the protocol is executed in, no environment can distinguish whether it is currently interacting with the real protocol or the ideal protocol with the adversary or simulator. AUC just uses this security experiment as well, so because it just works within existing UC models, and the core contribution of AUC is a transformation of a real and ideal protocol to accountable variants of them. So for example, one use case would be to exchange an existing preventive security property with its accountable adequate. So what does AUC provide for you? What are the features of AUC? If you want to model or want to transform an existing ideal functionality to its accountable adequate, AUC provides you the tools to actually cover what is accountability, and it provides, so in this case, the property may break, but it can only break if a verdict is provided. And there's also a guideline how to transform an existing preventive security property to its accountable adequate. We provide concepts to analyze combinations of preventive security and accountability. And of course, we designed AUC such that it allows the composability of accountable protocols. To give you a brief impression of how this works, let's have a look at a given ideal functionality where we want to transform this to an accountable adequate. So here in this case, we replace an existing preventive security property with an accountability property. And AUC basically works on the ideal side in 2 steps. In the first step, that's mainly adding static code to the functionality. And this is mainly a plug-and-play transformation. So you just add this code to your functionality without having to think about this static code. In the second step, you have to adapt the logic of the ideal functionality to reflect what it means that the property is broken. So what happens then? Typically, that means giving the adversary more power when the property is broken. On the real side, the AUC transformation is also the AUC transformation is necessary to transform the given protocol P with a preventive security property to its accountable adequate. And here, the main part in this transformation is adding judges to the real protocol. These judges formalize and include the judging procedure, and that's actually formalizing how to collect evidence or how to collect data and how to interpret data in order to render verdicts later on and to identify misbehaving parties. Also, we added the part for the concept for composability to the judges. We called this tool judicial report, and judicial reports are necessary or are used to exchange data between the different protocol layers. And then you can use this to make modular accountability analysis. We exemplified the usage of AUC in 3 case studies. These case studies are also the first UC analysis of these protocols and their accountability properties. In the first case study, we analyzed the scaling protocol, and we showed that the scaling protocol provides consistency in the absence of a verdict, and this property is called accountability with respect to consistency in the literature. In the second case study, we analyzed the public key infrastructure with certificate transaction logs, and we showed that that the PKI provides correctly generated and honestly registered certificates in the absence of verdicts, and we called this property accountability with respect to certificate correctness. And to exemplify composability, we analyzed the key exchange protocol based on the aforementioned PKI. So this is the ISO key exchange protocol, variant of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. And we showed that the key exchange protocol provides authenticity as long as there is no verdict against one of the participants in the key exchange in the PKI below. And we named this property accountability with respect to authenticity. To summarize, in our paper we propose AUC. It's a general accountability framework that brings accountability in a systematic way to UC, and it works within existing UC models, and we exemplified AUC in 3 case studies all in different domains. Due to time restrictions, I was not able to go into the details of AUC. I just want to close with some of the feature highlights of AUC. So, as already mentioned, AUC supports a wide range of protocols and security properties. It allows for analyzing the combinations of preventive security and accountability. But it also supports different accountability levels, so you can analyze individual accountability or group-based accountability. You can analyze local or public accountability with AUC, and you also can express the relationships between different security properties or accountability properties with AUC. And last but not least, it supports modular design of protocols and modular security analysis. So this concludes my talk. Thanks for listening, and I'm happy to answer your questions.
We have time for one very quick question. We have one? Yeah.
Thanks. I'm curious how the transformation from a UC to an AUC proof impacts the simulator. Because typically when you add additional capability to the adversary, or you give the adversary more capability, that has a pretty significant impact on the simulator in your proof.
Yes, so there's, I think there's no way to kind of just reuse the proof, so you have to make a new proof. It's not like a black box and you put AUC on top of it and then can conclude, okay, with AUC on top of this everything works. We have kind of a white box transformation, so you have to go into the proof and you have to adapt the proof. But typically, you can just reuse the major part of the proof, because as long as the property is not broken, the proof will stay the same. So, but there's no formal result that says, okay, you can just plug and play the proof.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.